My name's Eric Strebel, and welcome to another video of mine about industrial design. This is episode 9 of the Adventure Toy Rendering Series. Click on the screen here to watch some of the past episodes. In this episode, we're going to take a look at how I did the camouflage green color in this military combat vehicle and how I just randomly applied color and then pulled a rendering out of that color patch. I start this sketch out just like I start out most of the other ones, with some sort of a good, solid underlay so that my perspective is correct. I do this by taking a photograph of some of the toy parts that I snap together and use that to create a good composition and a nice view. For this rendering, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to randomly throw some color down on this page in my sketchbook, and from there we're going to pull out the underlying sketch of this military vehicle. Because I know it was going to be green, and I wanted some sort of a camouflage, and instead of having to go in and draw in all the camouflage and everything, I randomly just lay down the color and then I start blocking in the values. I start with the darker colors. Here I'm doing the wheels, and you'll see the picture will start to sort of rise out of the color. This allows me to basically do a dark vehicle and not have to worry about the color of the vehicle. So the vehicle's in there and I just need to pull it out. I do the wheels in a cool blue, kind of a little bit of a contrast to the rest of the vehicle. From here, I'm going in and I am adding in the darker values of the vehicle, and it starts to emerge. I do a little bit of outlining here and there. My light source is on the left, so the darkest parts of the vehicle are on the right, and so I know I can just take a darker value green, and start blocking in those values, and things will start to come alive. In this case, I'm doing the rail gun on the top. Now I'm doing the stuff on the right, and because it's a camouflage vehicle, I can get away with sort of weird shades of green, and it still makes sense. You'll notice it is like that little blue-green on some stuff that's on the right-hand side. While it denotes the value change to show the form change, it's a little bit odd, but it still kind of works, so I have no issue with that. Now, to do the lighter facing surfaces, the surfaces that are facing the light or catching some of the light, I can just come in with a white Prismacolor pencil and add in a little bit of value wherever I want the light surfaces to be. On the little leading edges that face the light, the big flat surfaces there on the left, to show those surfaces and make them come alive. Next, I go in with a fine point black outliner here, and I'm just pulling out all the shapes of the toy parts, and that is starting to outline the vehicle so you can really see the different parts of the toys and the little connectors that hold everything together. When you start outlining stuff like this and the toy really starts to take shape, you'll see the areas that will need a little bit more contrast, so I can add in some darks. Here I add in a shadow. Some places that you would see inside of the vehicle, I tend to make them dark. More shadows here, and I'm going to add a shadow of the gun. One thing to note about the shadow of the electro railgun, it is cast directly down on the vehicle, and the gun on the left actually casts a shadow across the vehicle. Neither of the two shadows are technically correct, but they do add an effect of three-dimensionality there. So while they are not correct, and I realize they are not correct, they are in there for effect, and they add a fair amount of realism or believability to the sketch when you have that shadow and light playing against each other. it really helps to sell the concept. The last thing that's left to do on this vehicle is to put in the hubs for the wheels. Big military vehicles tend to have huge amount of bolts on the outside. You can see this in any sort of reference material on military vehicles, so I add tons of bolts, make it sort of believable, and I do this, again, dark light, green to match the rest of the vehicle. Very simple, but it adds some nice detail and some nice believability. I add in a little bit more contrast in the wheels, and then I'm basically done. If you have any toy concepts that need to be designed, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always interested and eager to work on toys. I hope you enjoyed this episode, second to last episode. We got one episode left, and the next episode is going to be a spaceship, and it's going to be a color paper canson rendering concept of a spaceship. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can click on the little icon on the bottom right of the screen to do that. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. Rock on.